Hello everybody, this is Fred Quinones from qtheexperts at eXp Realty. I'm going to be talking to you today about property taxes. As you know, in a prior video I talked about home exemptions and how that can impact your property taxes to lower your property taxes because you live there and that's your primary residence, and the impact of how taxes could be higher if it's not in the state of Florida. Well, this type of conversation was just going to be a high-level conversation that pertained to property taxes at the point of sale. So for sellers, if you're selling your home, let's say in March, and you get to the closing table, everything's cleared to close, everybody's signing the documents, right? You've owned the home for 3 months. Well, you as the seller had an obligation to pay your property tax, and you were the owner for those 3 months of the year. So what will end up happening in close is that you will end up paying for those 3 months of taxes that you should have paid if you made it all the way to the end of the year. You'll pay for that and transfer those funds to the buyer. Now, as the buyer, you will take those 3 months that the seller is providing to you at closing, and then you will end up having to pay at the end of the year the property taxes for the house that you just purchased at the rate of what the seller had to pay that particular year. So I know that sounds a little complicated, and I can understand, but the important thing for buyers to understand, and I always like bringing this up, especially when we're talking to maybe a first-time home buyer or anybody who's doing financing. You know, right now, if you're doing financing, you have a certain dollar amount that is being estimated based off the current taxes of the year, which is based off of the seller and the purchase price that they purchased the home and how they've got a homestead and all these other things. Your mortgage payment is being estimated based off of your mortgage, your insurance, and your property taxes. But it's the property taxes of the seller. So something that's very important to understand is that in year 2, when you get to the January of the following month after you purchase the home, you will inevitably, in most cases, see an increase in your property tax, which will in turn increase your mortgage payment a little bit, unless, of course, your home insurance goes down a little bit, or even your property taxes go down a little bit because of your circumstance. So I always like to kind of mention these things so that people understand, especially buyers in this circumstance, that when you're shopping for a home, if your mortgage payment is kind of tipping towards the top of what you can afford, make sure that you consider the fact that your property taxes will change the January after you purchase the home. So in this example in March, if the seller sold the home and you bought it, picture that the January that comes up after that, you're going to see an increase in your mortgage payment potentially because of that fact. So, you know, it's always good when you're in the buying process, right, to ask those questions of your lender to make sure that he could or she could, in their best ability, kind of guide you on what that increase could be. But usually expect that it will be, right? So I hope that you found this short little video, entertaining. At least it gave you some information that's helpful. As always, you can reach out to me, Fred Quinones, or Nicole Quinones at qtheexperts at eXp Realty with any questions that you may have about anything that has to do with real estate. We're more than honored and happy to help you. So from me, Fred Quinones, and Nicole Quinones at qtheexperts, we're thankful that you stopped in today, and we'll be happy to help you with all your needs. So talk to you soon. Bye.